14 and a half.
There you go.
I had a moment of work where I was like, I think for a second I thought it was 25. Like,
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna say I'm like, wait. 25. I'm so old. No, it wasn't. It's just like, oh my god. No, I'm 26 in less than 3 months.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Man, if I could be 26.
I know, right? Why she's so old?
I know.
Oh my god.
I hear these young kids, yeah, 40's old. You ain't gonna shut your mouth.
It's over.
y'all are still babies.
I know, 26? Oh,
You're still young.
what?
You're a mom. That was working.
I'm still 26.
It's close to 30.
Just give up. It's down here.
Listen, everybody's like,
All right, you ready? I'll switch over to the rest.
I still tell myself I'm 25. With the mindset, body thought. Seriously.
All right, y'all, we ready?
Youngins.
All right, here we go. Switch to the lesson. Yeah. All right. Yep. All right. Welcome everybody. Shabbat shalom. Peace. Second. Because speakers right here, so y'all live and on stage. If you want it closer, just arrow. And then the arrow, you can use the arrow keys or the mouse. Arrow. And they can't see you, so only thing they can see is right on. All right. Yeah. Motivated. Another Shabbat. Let's give honor to the Most High, right? All right. So this is titled The Ladder of Love. It's a love story between the Most High and his people. The beginning of his people, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? So there's been a lot of blessing and a lot of revelation been going on thus far. So let's see what's going on in the rest of the series. Right? Okay. What in the holiness is going on around here? All right. All right. From what people did Isaac tell Jacob not to take a wife from, and where should she come from? So, on my under 18-year-olds, I'm gonna get an answer from one of y'all. It's a little bit of review. This is at the tail end
It's
of
a review.
last week's. This first part at the tail end of last week's lesson.
Okay, let me I'll ask it again. From what people did Isaac tell Jacob not to take a wife from? And where should she come from? Canaan, right? All right. And where should she come from? It's the other part of the question. This is important because it sets up everything for our nation. It's our foundation. You don't got it? You don't got it right now? Max Daddy?
Genesis 28, right?
Yes.
Yep.
That's where we're at.
Nobody? Anybody?
Oh.
All I got my youngest researching right now.
So the question has to take a what? Go, sorry.
Bereshit or Genesis chapter 28, verse 5.
Okay.
And Yitzhak sent away Yaakov, and he went to Padah Aram unto Laban, son of Bethuel, and the Arai of the brother of Rabbi, Yaakov and Esau's mother.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So, exactly right. So let's get to Genesis 28, 1 through 5.
I'll get it.
All right.
And Yitzhak called Yaakov and blessed him, and charged him, and said unto him, You shall not take a woman of the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padah Aram, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and take you a woman from thence of the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. And El Shaddai bless you, and take and make you fruitful, and multiply you, that you may be a multitude of people, and give you the blessing of Abraham to you and to your seed with you, that you may inherit the land wherein you are a stranger, which Elohim gave unto Abraham. And Yitzhak Isaac sent away Yaakov, and he went to Padah Aram unto Laban, son of Bethuel, the Arami, the brother of Rebekah, Yaakov, and Esau's mother.
Okay. So we see he was specifically told where to get a wife and where not to get a wife from, right? So the question would be, why? So if I ask Matt, why is it important not to get a wife from Canaan?
Well, first of all, it's because their traditions are different than ours.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Anybody else? You?
Let's say ideologies, traditions, the way they raise their kids. It's all different.
Respect that. Respect it. All right, I understand that. Any of my adults? Yes.
One reason, as a parents, together you raise your child. But who is in the house mostly? So
The wife.
The wife.
Mm-hmm.
So if you choose someone who's not following your beliefs, they're going to instill to your child what they believe. And that's why you want to get someone from your home house.
Great answer. That's a really good answer.
What was the question?
From what people did Isaac tell Jacob not to take a wife from, and where should she come from?
And then he also asked, why is that important?
And I said, why is that important?
Can I answer from experience?
Yes.
It's important because the other people, nations, from my own household don't necessarily believe what you believe. And no matter, it usually says that a woman can influence her husband into a certain belief, he'll take on. That's not so at my house. It didn't happen. So, if you're unequally yoked, it's definitely harder when you have children because the other parents are going to do what they want to do anyhow. So, they can respect me in a lot of things, but as far as some things, they continue on with their traditions that they have.
Because they see their traditions as more established and it's the right way because we've been doing it forever, right?
Yeah, and everybody else does it.
Right.
And it's just peace and things of love and joy and stuff like that, according to them.
Okay. So, if y'all turn with me to Genesis 9 and 24. We're going to go to Genesis 9, 24, and 25. All right, so from what I see, this goes all the way back to Noah, right? So verse 24 and 25. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew his younger son and what his younger son had done unto him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants. Listen to this, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren, right? So we see a curse pronounced on Canaan, right? And then now we're going to go to, so we see the curse. Now we go to Deuteronomy 7, 1 through 4. So now we're going to a piece of the part of the law, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Deuteronomy 7, 1 through 4. Let me get, let's see. Xavier, you want to read that?
You said Deuteronomy
7, 1 through 4.
Be loud for the speaker.
When Yahuwah your Elohim brings you into the land which you go to possess, he shall also clear away many nations before you, the Hittites and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than you. And when Yahuwah your Elohim brings them over to you, you shall smite them, and put them under the ban completely. Make no covenant with them, and show them no favor. And do not intermarry with them. You do not give your daughter to his son, and you do not take his daughter for your son. For he turns your sons away from following me, to serve other mighty ones. Then the displeasure of Yahuwah shall burn against you and promptly destroy you.
Okay. So all these answers were right, according to the scripture. They're scripturally sound, right? From what I see in there is there was definitely a curse placed on Canaan, right? So the question would be, would it make sense to have a brand new blessed people that started with Abraham, on through Isaac, on through Jacob, thus far, and then their lineage start intermarrying with people who've been cursed?
No, that'll bring a curse upon Israel.
Right.
And we can do that well enough by ourselves.
This is true. This is true. So that's what I was looking at. Is I myself, I would not, if I knew that that these people over here were cursed people, and I love my child, I love my son, I love my daughter, and I'm going to do everything I can to do right by them. I'm going to tell them, lead them in the direction in which they should go, right? Which means, no, you cannot marry her. I don't care what she looks like. No, you cannot marry him. I don't care how much money he makes, right? We live in a society that we don't necessarily live like that. We live the opposite, you know. We do what we want to do, not what our parents advise us on a lot of times. So I got some great advice as far as our children learning this lesson, right? So as far as a child understanding this, right? If I would have to tell a child why it's not okay to go down the street and play with these children over here. We understand that that's in this dispensation, that's hard to say who you can and who you cannot play with, and who you can and who you can't talk with, right? Because in our society, that is taboo, right? And people look at you like, oh, you're trying to be better than us. What do you think? People think that, you know what I'm saying? So we've seen a whole bunch of wars of that, you know what I'm saying? What is it? The Cartwrights and the who? What do you call them people? The Hatfields and the McCoys. Yeah. The Hatfields and the McCoys. And that's all a family whole other family, right? So when we're telling our children these things, you got to remember, they may not understand at the moment why I can't go over here, why I can't play with these children, why I can't be around them. But we also have to instill in them why it's important to listen to my voice, because every step thus far for these last few years, I've guided your steps. If I'm doing proper parenting, I've been guiding your steps, right? So I'm not going to lead you astray. So however you need to articulate that to your child is upon you. But the child needs to know that, hey, there are some people that we just can't play with. We just can't, it's okay to, we see these people around and say hello. But as far as, hey, this is my friend, and this is, now you get into a whole different thing, because now that friend comes with things that may be curses or a lifestyle that their parents and their parents' parents are into, that you might not necessarily want your child in. Me and bro was talking, I had a friend of mine named David, a Nigerian brother, right? And he was talking about how generational curses work on the continent, right? So when we look at it, we just say, oh, generational curses. So we just read scriptures and, but there's certain places like this is very prevalent. Witchcraft is very prevalent, right? So it might not be the girl who's practicing the witchcraft. It could have been her grandfather who said, hey, if this such and such happens to any woman in my family, this curse be upon that man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this is why it's important to monitor who your children are around also. And children, it's important to monitor who you're around, because you don't know these deep, dark secrets that are intertwined in some of these people's families, right? So that's why it's important for your family, your mother, your father, to meet your friends. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, there's have enough level of discernment to say, I don't like that. I don't like you with it, right? And at this point, we should see a little bit more discipline and say, okay, I'm gonna listen, mom. We know there's rebelliousness, but you've been told. Right. You've been told, and that's the best that we can do as parents, and as children, we can do better. All of us as children can do better, So that's.
Oh, can I
go ahead.
I'm sorry. People don't understand the power of influence. Like, what if you're an online person? What do they call you? An influencer. Yeah. And that's why society is going so crazy now. Young people are being influenced by what they see online all the time. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, I always wondered. My parents would let me do nothing. They let me hang out with my own cousins. You know what I mean? And I know now why. They couldn't articulate that to me back then. But at the time, I was like, man, I can't do nothing. Man, my cousins, they having all this fun, going all this place. But I know they was out there doing stuff they shouldn't have been doing. Right. Now, they would play the role around, the family. But when they got out there in the streets, they was doing whatever. You know what I mean? And a lot of them became, female cousins became teenage mothers, teenage fathers, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of people just don't understand the power of influence. When you say not hanging around certain people, you can be the strictest parent in the world, run your household tight, but if you let them run them streets, you're wasting your time. Seriously. Because I had uncles that were real strict. I mean, they beat the heck out of my cousins or whatever. They got punished, but they let them run the streets. And that's when they lost them to the streets. Yes. It's just that simple. So that influence is big.
And the respect should not just stop at the door before your child leaves. That respect should carry on outside of the house. Mm-hmm. So even when you're not around, it's like there should be some level of understanding, like, nah, this is not anything that I'm used to, and my mom and my daddy don't want me around none of these kinds of people, right? So at some level, at some point, a level of discernment has to happen. I understand for the younger children, it's not quite there yet, but as you start to develop and get a little older into your teenage years, y'all should start understanding these things, right?
Yeah, it's like you can be respectful to these people and, treat them with kindness because we're supposed to be alike at the end of the day. But it's also like you can't call everyone your friend. Right. Like you can be respectful and be kind to people, doesn't mean that they're your friend. That doesn't mean that you know they're gonna be there for you, or you're gonna be there for them all the time whenever something pops off.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you didn't make that covenant because that's what a friendship should be.
It's a covenant. Yeah. That's a great point. A true friendship is a bond, is a covenant, and just like a brotherhood. That once you say, hey, you are my friend, I'm your brother. There's things that come with that. As children, we don't quite understand that yet. We jump from friend to friend. But as adults, as we get older, our friend circle becomes so much smaller, right? So I would say to anyone listening who has children, trying to explain this to their children, it goes back to this basic obedience, listening to what I tell you to do and what I tell you not to do. When I say don't do it, that means don't do it. And that's how I see it. Anyone see anything different than that, or have any opinion that differs from that?
No, like as we continue to bring up our Yaladim in this walk, in this tradition of our faith and our history, I think it's important that in this day and age full of information, that we take time out of our day to break it down to our young teenagers, because it's getting to a point now, at least with the laws here in Babylon, they can be convicted as an adult. So if anything judicious goes down and they're in the center of it, Babylon's not going to see them as a child for whatever offense that they may have committed. And in Scripture, we have countless examples of why you only hang around with your nation. Right. There's a strict reason, because ultimately it comes down to, if you don't serve the same Elohim, there's always going to be problems, and people get betrayed by that. Right. People get betrayed by being friends with other nations that they thought were close for years, from elementary to high school to college, but they've always been worshipped another Elohim, and then when it comes down to brass tacks, they will choose their Elohim over ours. That's true.
They're gonna influence us more than we would influence them, right?
Yeah.
And that's how it normally happens. Just like Ak was saying, I have family members like that. That you have it within your family. Remember, like how the Benjaminites were. It was like a certain part of them that was trying to have the men, and then they ended up almost getting completely wiped out, right? So I have like certain people in my family, maybe like us, like the birds. My mom used to always talk about them. I'm like, yeah, don't go hang with the birds. You can't hang with that part of the family. They bad. Growing up, we used to go over there, and I used to was my auntie Carol, and it's their mama, and they would call their mama Carol. Like, Carol, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's your mama, you ain't gonna call her mama. It was like, Carol, come here. Carol, this and that. And they was just talking to her, and the way that she would respond would be like, what? Why don't you get out of here? Like, the sun is still out. Why don't you go somewhere? And even when the street lights come on, everybody know, like, right, you gotta go home, right? No, not at Carol's house. Carol be like, y'all ain't got nothing to do. Y'all can go outside in the front. Y'all too loud. And we just sitting there being children, laughing, giggling, watching TV and stuff. She was like, go outside. Go hang outside. So now we outside with, drug dealers and drunkards, and we just, like, doing the most that we shouldn't be doing. And you get experience to a life of, you get robbed of your innocence. You know what I'm saying? Now you're doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing. And then it normally happens like that in country towns where they only have the street lights go off at like 8 o'clock, and that's when you get those flashing lights where it's just red. And you go there and then you wind up finding like cousins sleeping with cousins, or little girls getting pregnant at the age of like 13. Like, it's because they have no supervision, they have no guidance, they don't have Yah in their life, and you see that often. That it happens constantly. It's like a recycle. Like you just see this happening with our families, our friends, and then if you stay around stuff like that, then you're gonna be prone to being like that. It's just natural. You don't even sometimes you don't even know that it's wrong that you're doing it. But what you still end up doing it, right? You still end up going that way. That's why the Most High gave us these laws. He told us, and then he also said, if you want to make me happy, you know, if you want to make me happy, then I can be able to answer you. It's in our Proverbs. And but one thing, how do we make him happy? Because he gives us what? These laws and statutes and commandments. So, like, if we're trying to make him happy, and therefore, then how's it going to turn over for us? If we ask him, if you got your father and you constantly mean to your father, you got your mother, you constantly mean to your mother or your friend, and a person giving you a ride every day, you know what I'm saying, to school, and you constantly being upset with it, you really think that they're going to take out that time to come get you from their house when you ask them? Like, nah, not today, player. You know what I'm saying? You better go ahead and catch that Via. You better catch that loser cruise. You better catch that bus. Ain't nobody about to come get you. You know, and then now you got an attitude because they ain't doing what you want them to do. You know what I'm saying? As children, you know, children can be privileged because we've done so much and we enable them instead of actually showing them, like, hey, you do this. Now, I don't want to be mean to you. I don't want to be rude to you. I don't even want to, like, I just want you to do for me so I can be able to let you have the privileges or let you have the treasures of the life that you should be getting. Because in that way, because you will want the same thing for your children when they get old. You don't want that. My daughter got a cat that be killing her every day. You know what I'm saying? But let somebody try to touch that cat other than her and be angry. Yeah, she'll go crazy because that's her baby. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is because she's got true love for her and she knows that cat got love for her. She's just that crazy sometimes.
As we all do, right? So, being that the Most High is a father, you know what I'm saying? There's a level of, okay, I understand my child. I understand what I'm dealing with working with him or her, right? But at the same time, there's a thing called rebellion. So, just like he was saying, calling mommy by their first name, right? Or just talking, not just calling them by the first name, just talking, like disrespecting like that. So, I believe we have to police ourselves the way we communicate with Yah, right? We just too friendly with this, you know? Like, there's no respect or reverence in put on his name. So much so he says not to take his name in vain. I digress. But, you know, he's telling you, don't do me like you do everybody else. But we still do it. But he made a concession for that because we're rebellious children. He said, okay, you don't get it yet, so I'm going to give you time. So, and I think that's a perfect example of parenting right there. Right? So when I was looking at verse 3, right, where it's Genesis 28:3, it said, and God Almighty bless thee and make thee fruitful and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people. And verse 4, and give thee the blessing through Abraham to thee and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art stranger, and God gave unto Abraham. So what I've been noticing so far, the blessings did not stop. You know what I'm saying? So we just came off the previous lesson where we saw the blessings being given passed out, right? But it looks like here the blessings never stop. And he blessed him, and he blessed him, and he blessed him, and he blessed him, right? So with all these blessings going on, there's no way that this man's gonna turn against that and go to someone who's a curse to him. All right. And Proverbs 13 and 22. I'm gonna read that for y'all.
What?
Proverbs 13:22.
Thank you.
All right, I got it. So this is important. What Abraham actually did, that we can look back on and say, okay, now I understand what he was talking about in verses 4, right? A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just, right? So what Abraham did, right? He established an inheritance for his children's children. So now he established what was supposed to be going on, what's happening with Jacob, right? So on and so forth. So it's not just my child, but my grandchild. How my grandchild gonna be brought up? I need my grandchild to know these things are important. I need for my grandchild to know that he cannot be with these women. So I need to enforce this by what? Telling my son, telling my daughter to make sure my grandchild knows these things. And then when we look at some of these the other books, we see that that's happening, where Abraham is actually talking to Rebecca to make sure that Jacob is not going out of the way. All right. From which nation did Esau take as a wife, considering what Isaac told Jacob? Matt. From which nation did Esau take as a wife, considering that what Isaac told Jacob?
Well, he's looking. Have you noticed that's established for us to leave an inheritance for our children's children, and we're not doing that anymore. But the other nations are, and that is so important for them to establish an inheritance for their children and their grandchildren. That's what we don't.
Right. And to that point, I believe that we're so interested in getting to where we gotta be and to look at me-isms right now. We're not concerned about no grandchildren. We care more about ourselves. I remember
too. They're making sure we don't continue to produce.
Yeah. Remember back in the day, our parents and grandparents would be like, "When you gonna have some babies? I need some grandbabies.
Yeah.
Where my grandbabies?" You know, I'm a grandfather. I don't ask where my grandbabies at. We don't ask these questions, right? Because we lost something along the way. What?
He got a daughter from Ishmael.
Ishmael, good job. From Ishmael. All right. So let's see. Texas, give me Genesis 28, 6 through 9. Yeah. Generations.
When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Padah to take him a wife from hence, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a charge, saying, "Thou shalt not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan." And that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother and was gone to Padah. And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, then went Esau to Ishmael and took unto the wives which he had Mahaleth, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebajoth, to be his wife.
What's that? Yeah. Yeah. It gets even worse later on. I can't go through it right now. It's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
This boy go all the way off. Okay, so yeah, good point. So here what I was paying attention to was verse 8, right? And Esau seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, right? Then Esau went unto Ishmael. So you would think, okay, so he went to the Ishmaelites. He didn't say I couldn't. I heard what he said to Jacob, and Jacob got blessed. He didn't say nothing about the Ishmaelites, right?
Yeah.
So one would assume that, okay, maybe this guy is not that bad. Wrong. Wrong. Keep on reading the rest of the story, you're going to get the rest of the answer, right? So from the outset, he understood what was told to his brothers. But my question that I asked earlier to Sharman and to King was, at any point, did Jacob tell Esau and Jacob that they were not allowed to take a wife from these people? Okay, at any point, did Isaac tell Esau that he could not take a wife from the Canaanites? That's right. That's an open question for everybody.
Say the question one more time.
At any point, did Isaac instruct Esau not to take a wife from the Canaanites?
I don't think he told him directly, but I think not Canaan. I think Esau just kind of was like, well, oh, he probably knew his family history too. He was like, oh, okay, yeah, but I don't want to be tied up with that curse. At least he at least understood that much, I would think. But if he has, I'm definitely waiting to learn about it. But I don't think he did. Oh, go ahead.
Verse 6.
Oh, okay.
It says, "Do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan."
Well, like,
so was that given to Esau?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Esau saw.
Like, I think Esau just overheard the conversation. Was like, okay, yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Your husband's backwards, huh? Because apparently he was hard headed.
No, he did it on purpose.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
intentional.
Right.
It was intentional because you have to look at it.
Because he was obviously there
He was
when
there.
the instruction was given.
He was
So
there. He's the older brother. So you think about this, right? Like if Abraham told Eleazar to make sure that Isaac did not go to anybody but his people, do you really think that those children did not know this already? Like this was already said to Abraham. Already gave the instruction.
He was there when the reminder was given.
Right, the son is going to be given the instruction too. If the rule that I give for him is the same rule that's for her and the same rule that's for him. If I say that I don't want y'all marrying other nations, that goes across the board. That's not like, oh, okay, well, you only told that to Xavier. No. You know this. And that's why the Most High tries the heart. That's why he looks at the heart. Because it's like you do know this. You do know what the instruction is, but you're trying to find a loophole. And then you want to try to say, well, you didn't directly tell me.
Tell me that. You told Jacob to bless me.
So then what does the Most High do with people like that? He uses you as an example because he's like, I see your heart in this. We learn in the Torah about presumptuous sin, right? And about like sin that like is like to do like an actual like mistake, like or that you're just like not caring about what the consequences are. You know what I'm saying? Like some things are mistakes, some things you really did not know you were ignorant of it. But that's why the Most High sees the heart. And he's like, no, I see this. This is why Esau, this is why you don't have the blessing to begin with. Right? Because this is, you just don't care. Like, you do spiteful things knowing what the commandments are. You know what I'm saying?
That's why in verse, was it 8? It says, so Esau saw that the daughters of Canaan did not please his father Yitzhak.
They made a point to put that in there.
So he saw, he knew.
So it's spiteful, like you said.
And to your point, and to the children listening, it doesn't. If you're a child and you're not an only child, and your parent lays down the law saying, "Hey, this is what you're not going to do," and he's talking to one child, that goes to both y'all. Because back in the day, if I did something, or if my little sister did something and I did not correct her, both of us catch it. There's no separation between church and state at that time. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna catch it. So I agree with y'all that he was aware of what's going on, and as you see later on, so it brings a whole new meaning to it. Esau have I hated, because the thing that Esau did, it has nothing to do with his race. It has nothing to do with any of these things, right? he acted in the same manner as Cain, right? When he was disapproved of. He lashed out and acted out like a bad child. And what happened to Cain? He got cursed. What happened to Ham? Canaan got cursed. What's happening to Esau? Esau is running through a whole curse, right? For being disobedient and not listening to begin with. All right. Let's see. Yeah, we can go there. It's just a reminder. Go to Exodus 20 and 12. Because you gotta remember, this precedes the Mosaic law, right? So, but this is a law that's been given. So, Exodus 20 and 12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord has given thee. That's interesting because he can only be talking to one people because he didn't give the land to Esau, right? So the onus was on both of them to obey their parents. But one of them turned away and stayed away, and the other one did, and you saw what happened after that, right? So just because our parents say, hey, do this thing, you don't understand it, you do it, right? Down the road, you're going to understand why they told you to stay away from these people. Why they said, these are the people you want to be around. Stop talking in class. Pay attention. Stop acting up, right? There's a reason behind why as parents we tell you how to do things. Even though you might not understand it right now, it's for your own best interest, right? And then we look at the blank screen. All right. What's a tool that Jacob saw that is used to keep up the house that was shown in the dream of Jacob? Okay. So Jacob had a dream, right? And there's a household item that is used not daily, but when you hang stuff up or get on top of a roof. Can anybody help me out with that?
Ladder.
Are you sure? Okay, ladder. Let's see what the answer is. It's a ladder. Good job. What did Jacob use as a pillow to go to sleep on? A rock. This is open for everybody. But the engagement, I need to know that the children are paying attention also, not sleeping in the corner by themselves on the phone. All right.
Yeah, and that's also an interesting thing about the rock that Jacob used as a pillow. Supposedly, in Buckingham Palace, right? That's what they call it in London. That is the throne where they do the coronation. They have that rock that's supposed to be that rock. That's supposed to be that rock.
So they moved the rock that was emblematic. We'll read this in a minute.
Yeah.
And we'll see how stupid that is. Okay, let's go to Genesis 28, 10, and 12, and we'll see how stupid that is. 10, 12. Okay. So this Genesis 28, 10, and 12. 10 through 12.
And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went towards Haran. And he lighted on a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillow, and lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascended and descended on it.
Okay, so we're gonna see later on that what these stones are used for, right? So this is why, if indeed they did take these stones that Yaakov laid his head on and moved them, right? The historical significance of moving those stones is very, very bad, because these are like memorial. Exactly, these are memorials, right? And they indicate where the land actually is, right? And what they saw around it. Because the scriptures do a great job in detail of telling us what's around the land, who inhabits the land, what was placed there on the land, and then so if you have somebody come and move such things, right? Because hey, this is cool. Let me have this. It's not mine. I don't know why it's here. I've heard about it. Let me move it, right? Then there's confusion everywhere. Now, and it sounds crazy, but no one, everyone's acting like they don't know where Israel is anymore, right? I mean, well, if we kept the boundaries and we actually left stuff alone and listened to the Most High, and we wouldn't have people into our scriptures telling us where our land is, where it's not, who our people are, who they are not, right?
But that's a design of the nations, cause confusion to other people.
It is.
It all comes out of our disobedience, though.
That's true.
Like they wouldn't, no matter how much they try to curse us.
Yeah.
There's
we
nothing they can do.
if we enable it.
That's true. I also see in here where we see the angels ascending and descending, right? And it makes me think of Nimrod, right?
Yep.
Remember, Nimrod tried to make the whole Tower of Babel. So in essence, that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to, of his own carnally, make his own way into the kingdom of heaven, right? So, and this is a question that there's no clear-cut answer to. How much did Nimrod actually know, right? Because we see Jacob having a dream about the ladder of angels ascending and descending. What did Nimrod actually know that he knew to try to build something that goes all the way up to the Most High? Was he just out of his mind? Like, he said, you know what? This is how great I am, how powerful I am. Watch what I do. There's other ways to show power than to go up to the kingdom of heaven and do battle with the Most High. I guess that was his plan, right?
I wonder what weapons they thought they had that could actually get weapons. So okay, yeah, you can. It's like I'm gonna go to your house. But if I'm gonna go to your house and take it over, I better have an arsenal with me. So I wonder what they thought they had that could do the job.
Yeah, and it was significant enough for the Most High. He had to confuse the languages.
Yeah.
So just go figure that he was a mighty hunter too, right?
Hunters don't like to share.
That's crazy. What was the similar promise given to Abraham by the Most High that was given to Jacob? I'll say that. I'll read it again. What was the similar promise given to Abraham by the Most High that was given to Jacob?
Greatly multiplied.
Possibly.
I don't know what it is. I need to read and find out.
What do you think?
Two things. I believe that was what it was, because if I remember right, Abraham he was promised that he was gonna have multiple generations and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember exactly what was the promise for Jacob, but it was something.
I know it now, but I was saying.
All right. No.
You're asking what was the promise?
Yeah, what was the promise that was given to Abraham that's similar to the from the Most High that was similar that was given to Jacob?
And being told that he would be numerous.
Sure about that?
Yes.
Final answer.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm locking that in.
All right. Anyone else? $500,000.
That's part of it, but there's a little bit. I know
Okay, go ahead.
it's also the land. It's also the land. So it gives his descendants, he would have a lot of descendants, but they would also have the land.
Inherit the land. Because remember, we were just talking about inheritance, right? And that was the whole purpose of him laying his head on the stones in that area. But we're about to read that. So, Donnie, you want to read? Genesis 28, 13 to 15.
And behold, Yahuwah stood above it and said, I am Yahuwah Elohai of Abraham, your father, and the Elohai of Yisrael. The land whereon you lie, to you will I give it, and to your seed. And your seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and you shall spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in you and in your seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with you, and will guard you in all places where you go, and will bring you again into this land, for I will not leave you until I have done that which I have spoken to you of.
Thank you. All right, so we got our answer, right? So let's see. So what's the answer? Isaiah.
For the same question?
Yeah.
The fruits of his, the seed will be
and the inheritance of the land, right? So that's all part of it. That's part of the yeah, it is twofold. Let's see. So back to the point. Moving stuff.
Yeah.
Here's why you don't move stuff.
Yeah.
Right here. It literally established us as people. Right? So it's a whole covenant built off of these stones and a whole, it's not even a story, it's just a promise made. You know what I'm saying? So just to pick, hey, you know what, these are nice looking stones, let's go put them in behind a case in the museum.
Yeah.
Or under a throne. Yeah.
Supposedly.
All right.
But then they got stolen.
So I was looking through this, right? And as I was looking through there, it was talking, as they were saying how the blessings would be all the children would be blessed, right? All the seeds of Jacob would be blessed from all 4 corners of the earth. And I asked this question to the king, and I don't want to be pulling from straws, but there's something that I saw in Genesis 17:4, right? And I'll get that for you. Through 7. As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Right? So this is the Most High talking to Abraham. Right? Neither shall thy name be any more Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee, and I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and the kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee in the generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee. Right? So as I'm looking at that, and I go to Genesis 28, it looks like, so the Most High made Abraham this promise, right? His seed was going to be numerous. And at the same time, we understand that all nations are going to be blessed through Abraham. So what does the blessing look like? Because you keep reading, it's like, okay, so what are the blessings that are supposed to go into the nations? Can anyone answer, like, what specific blessing should go to any of the other nations that you can think of?
Other nations outside of Yahweh?
Yeah. Because it says all nations shall be blessed. So my question is, what blessing are the other nations supposed to receive?
Knowledge of the Most High.
I mean, great blessing, kid.
That's like
That would be amazing. Yeah, that's an amazing blessing.
But we don't see that in the scripture anywhere, right? So this is all speculatory, right?
well, actually, no. We do see it in scripture because if you go later in scripture, that's what the Most High. That's our mission.
We are the blessing to them. So she answered my question.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I get on my own.
Well, so we don't see a literal physical blessing to all the other nations, right? But yes, we do. We are, based off of what we saw, we are their blessing, right? Because through us, they're blessed. Through us, we are the priests, the kings and priests that are the lights of the Most High, right?
That can teach them how to become a grafted in branch, like tree of Israel.
Being a light unto the Gentiles.
Yeah.
And that's why they always ask us to forgive them.
Right.
Because they know when they're blessed, they know through us is salvation.
Yep. And even though we were disobedient and spread to the four corners of the earth, kind of like it said in Genesis, before any of that happened, right? So we were through disobedience, we were scattered, right? So it's amazing to me that before we were even a nation, right? He already knew that from the east to the west to the north to the south, blessed through us, right? He didn't say, "Hey, everybody's gonna be here in Israel, and then after the dispersion, then we're gonna." No, he said this. He established this in the very beginning. So if I were Jacob or Isaac, I would be like, "Well, how's that supposed to happen?" Me as a person here right now, how can I bless the four corners of the world through my seed? This is all I see in front of me right now. I don't see anything bigger than this. But you have to believe in the vision of the Most High. So it was counted unto Abraham as righteousness because he believed the Most High, right? So just because you can't see the thing, you can't visualize it happening, doesn't mean it cannot happen. All right. All right. What did Jacob do with the stone he slept on? What did Jacob do with the stone?
Set it up for a pillar.
So again?
Set it up for a pillar.
Pillar.
18. Verse 18.
Let's see.
Poured oil on top.
Pull it up. Genesis 28, 19, 22.
19 through 22, it says, and he called the name of the place Bet-El, but the name of the city...
Start at 18.
Sorry, 18, okay. And Yaakov rose up early in the morning and took the stone that he had put for his pillows and set it up for a pillar and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bet-El, but the name of that city was called Luz at the first. He said, 22. And Yaakov vowed a vow, saying, if Elohim will be with me and will guard me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and remnant to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall Yahuwah be my Elohim. And this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be Elohim's house. And of all that you shall give me, I will surely give the tenth unto you.
So we see a lot in in these two verses right here, right? So the first thing that stood out to me was the vow that Jacob made and the 10th part that he was talking about, right? So with the vow, let's see, you get Matthew 6, 31 and 33. Matthew 6, 31 to 33.
I can get it. Therefore, take no thought, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things do the other nations seek. For your heavenly Father knows that ye have need of all these things. But seek ye first the kingdom of Elohim and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
Exactly. So we just read that, right? So now let's go back to Genesis 28 and 20, right? And we see, and Jacob vowed a vow, saying, if God be with me and keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread and eat and raiment to put on. This is so. Look, he set the standard. Yahusha just reinforced it, right? He's like, look, Father, if you get clothes to put on my back, food in my stomach, and give me the direction, I'll do whatever you say. He didn't ask for anything else but those things, right? So as Yahusha is speaking, thousands of years later, right? If you take a look at what he's saying, don't worry about these things. These things are not what's important to get you into the kingdom of heaven, right? Believe that these things are already going to be given to us, right? The clothing, the food, the raiment, everything is already there provided for us, right? So just have faith and move forward. That's what he's saying. Anyone got anything else? Yeah. To be continued.
Yep.
All right. I thank y'all for your participation. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we gotta go to the closing scriptures.
Closing scriptures. In closing, let us hear the go.
Conclusion.
Stop. Stop. Okay.
Come on, you got it.
Let's wait. Let us hear the conclusion.
Here.
Let us hear this from this here. A conclusion.
It's your duty, brother.
Phone a friend.
Almost
Phone
your
a friend.
duty. You know what I'm saying?
Phone a friend.
He's doing the ring. No, he's there. You next.
Fear. Yes. Okay. Elohim and guard his commandments, for this is the
old duty man.
This is whole duty of man. Where am I at?
I got the new. I can get the two next. For Elohim shall bring every.
There you go.
Come on. You go through it every other week. Work.
Every work. Every
Help her.
work. Every person, every work. Work. Oh, every work.
Was you still? No, good job. All right, so let's say it all together since we all know it now, right?
Hit the button one more time. I think it'll reveal all the words.
All right, no, that's not it. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Elohim and guard his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For Elohim shall bring every work of the judgment, every secret thing, whether it be good
All right, so the next one. Okay.
I'm not yet.
Here is the yes. The Kodashim. Here are
They that are the
here are the
That guard the commandments and the belief of Yeshua.
okay, and guard the commandments and the let's see belief of Yeshua. Okay, all together.
1, 2, 3. Here is the face of the Lord. Here are they that are the commandments of Yahuwah and the belief of Yahuwah.
Hallelujah. Thank y'all. Thank you for your cooperation.